Welcome to this service. This is your first time with us. To give you a big welcome. You're going to find out what we're really all about in an abbreviated way. Rather you be here because you feel the love of this place. That's what we really celebrate. That's what we're about. This is your first time with us. You're a long-time friend. You're in what I call the house. We celebrate the life and the magnificent splendor of God within you. Make sure so I ask you for the next hour, please let me know. Don't stress or worry, upset, anxiety, any of that activity. Lean back into join us in your end. But for now,
it's literal animal magnetism.
Good morning. Let's do this again. Good morning.
Good morning.
I like that so much we got to do it one more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, now we can do this. Good. I'll say it again. Good morning. As we prepare to begin, please turn off your cell phones and put them on airplane or whatever it is you do, and put them away for the service. My name is David Coleman. And today, in addition to having India doing her glorious music, Ed Martin is our greeter. Gene Morton is going to be doing the slides. Good luck to you, son. Tom Allen is our video tech, and Javier is our usher today. So we've got lots of people involved in the service. So please stand as we sing the joy song, number 74, Inside. Because then I get to call them and say, if you're here for the first time, would you please stand up and tell us who you are?
Hi. Chris Ryan is my name, and I'm teaching a class up here.
Very good.
Excited to see you.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Welcome, Chris.
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah. Inside your bulletin, of course, there are prayer requests, and I've seen people filling them out. And if you can do it right now, when the prayer box later when the service comes through, you can put them in. Or if you don't, then say you'll have them in your heart, and once you drop them in the basket, offering basket later, if it's later than the prayer box, our prayer team prays over them for a week, and then they're sent on to Silent Unity, where they are prayed over for a month. And now to our announcements. Last week, the September and October daily word booklets were put out for the first time, and they're still there. And if you haven't gotten one, please take one. And the dry goods basket outside the door is empty. And we
no, not now.
Say it again.
Not empty.
Well,
it was when we started.
It will be filled up more, especially next week. Today lunch after the service is at Sarah. And if you want to join us and have not told Ann King, please do so immediately after church so we can adjust it. In our study group at 9:30 to 10:30 in the fellowship room, we're studying the revelation of the Aramaic Jesus. And what a book that is. I encourage everyone that's not coming, get up that extra hour and let's come in here and fill that room up. Because it is just an amazing time. And there's free coffee. And we talk a lot, read a little. And if for some reason any of you have not been receiving your weekly and monthly issues on the internet from the Unity, please add or re-add your email addresses. I see everybody is mostly reading the name tags. That's a good thing. And there are also several ongoing things by Zoom, and they are listed in your order of service too. And you can also find the links on our Facebook page at unityofburning.org. And now we'll have the daily word to be read by Ann Gulley.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As we prepare to begin the daily word, as we quietly and gently prepare for the reading of the daily word, remember that we're in spirit with millions of daily word readers and churches throughout the world. The Christ candle is lit as a reminder of the Spirit of God within all of us, which we call the Christ within. The word for the day is care. And the affirmation is, I am here and I care. Sometimes my heart goes out to a friend or even a stranger who is struggling. Other times my heart breaks when I learn of another devastating news. In those moments, I feel the urge to help. I pray, affirming healing, peace, or comfort. I may offer financial support or material goods. I might call on the phone or visit in person. Even so, I may feel my efforts are not enough, especially when the needs are great. But the impulse to care is in many people the activity of God streaming through so many hearts and hands. As I join my efforts with theirs, I trust we can lift up even the most dire situations. I'm a caring presence, ready to help, serve, and love. And from the scripture, 1 Thessalonians 2:8, so deeply do we care for you that we're determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves, because you have become very dear to us. And this is affirmation again, I am here and I care. And my name is Ann Gulley, and I thank you for worshiping with us today.
Thank you, Ed.
Please stand for our miracle moment. No other way. And we say together. Good. Could
We but see the pattern of our days. We should discern how devious were the ways by which we came to this, the present time, this place of life, and we should see the climb our soul has made up through the years. We should forget the hurts, the wanderings, the fears, the wastelands of our life, and know that we can come to another way or grow into our good without these steps our feet found hard to take. Our faith found hard to meet. The road of life winds on, and we like travelers go from turn to turn, until we come to know the truth that life is endless, and that we are ever in the heavens of all eternity.
Please remain standing for the celebration song, Wonderful Words of Life.
Sing them over again to me, wonderful words of life. Let me more than beauty see, wonderful words of life. Words of life and beauty, teach me faith and duty. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Words of love and love and light, wonderful words of life. Words of love and wonders of life, wonderful words of life. Promises to cheer me, words I treasure dearly. Wonderful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Words of wisdom that enrich my soul, wonderful words of life. Ever strengthen and make me whole, wonderful words of life. Gems of wisdom thrilling, thirst for truth fulfilling. Wonderful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life.
Please remain standing for our opening prayer, and together we say,
Unity of burning, vibrant, loving, spiritual community, providing a sacred space for personal growth. We honor and celebrate the Christ within all people.
thanks and be seated. It's time now to turn over the remaining of the service to Jay for the blessing and prayer request and everything else.
Thank you, sir.
Special music right now.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't say so there, but there you go.
Oh, no. Back up one.
We do the prayer request first, and then we do the.
I know, I was looking at the PowerPoint. We got it.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
Morning.
You're in a place where the love's abundant and where sometimes we just go with what happens. And so this is what we do in life. Right now, I invite you to give your prayer requests, place them in that box. If you haven't had a chance to write them down, I'm going to take a moment for you to do so. We are a praying church. And that's another way of saying we are a loving church. And we see results from the prayers that we pray. So if you haven't had a chance to write it down and put it in the box, I'll give you some time to do that right now. Otherwise, we have to bring them forward. Thank you. Take deep breath right now and center yourself in your own divinity and the love that you are and that you know you have, and you direct it towards these requests. If you do that, I believe they're doubly blessed as we bring peace to the Spirit right now of truth that animates all life and is our very being. All into the presence, there are requests this morning that are placed in this box. You know who they are, what they are, what's needed better than even they do. We know that we affirm, know that they lean on your arms, your everlasting arms for comfort, for discernment, for direction, for right decision. You know that in this box is a representation of all manner of things human. But we also know there is a divinity that shapes our heads. And that is your animating presence and the truth you bring to us to remind us who we are. We ask your blessing over these requests, affirming that your will is being done as we speak right now, either aloud or silently, in truth, and rather in the depths of our being, knowing the truth of who we are.
we are abundant life, we are abundant love. And we call that forth in the lives of those who have requests in this box and those anywhere right now needing touch of grace, love, mercy, peace, relief from guilt, a fresh start, whatever it may be. You are the author of the new beginning. And we affirm that these folks are seeing that inside themselves right now, the truth of their being. And we celebrate it, and we affirm it, and we say it is so. Amen.
I brought one of my original songs to go with today's message, because if you make your life a dance, then you're choosing happiness and you have nothing to lose. I will shake the blues off my shoes. No need to bounce back, 'cause I've learned to bounce forward. And blood shining smooth, gonna take the cheeks on the spin. You can't hold it still when the soul longs to burn. Come make this life a sensation, each day celebration of all that. I'll prove with imagination, each move my creation, and I miss my chance to make this life a dance. I will make this life a dance, like nobody's watching. Don't care if they do, 'cause it's my life to share. Starting from my heart, letting me bleed each turn that I take. Come make this life a sensation, each day celebration of that. I'll prove with imagination, each move my creation, and I miss my chance to make this life a dance. My shoes can sign style if I need a new step. I'll keep it true to step. I'll make this life a sensation, each day celebration of that. I'll prove with imagination, each move my creation, and I miss my chance to make this life a dance. I'll take a chance. I choose to dance. I'll take this chance with all I have. I choose to in the midst of his children, the Lord said that he would be. Doesn't take very many, it can be just 2 or 3, and I feel the same sweet spirit that I felt all times before. Surely I can say I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I feel His mighty power and His grace.
right now, the posture you're in, knowledge of where your feet are, where your hands are, most importantly, where your attention and your heart is. I invite you to visit that place that's in you that is infinite, it's eternal, it's the place God resides. It's a place where all the requests of our heart are known, where everything that we could ever want, everything we desire, we brought to this presence, and we receive clarity, we make right judgment, and we receive wisdom. Take a few deep breaths, centering ourselves right where we are. The first thing that we affirm is love is present, because we are present. As we relax into this moment, we're aware that any tension or upset or sense of disquiet leaves us in this moment. We're open, receptive, ready to receive the guidance and the wisdom and the power that is ours when we remember who we are. And in this moment, we do remember. We remember by bringing the various aspects of ourselves that we feel are scattered, with judgments here, and some things there, and some other situations that don't seem to match with what we want, and we feel like we're in different lives, different pieces, so to speak. We bring those together right now in a holistic way. We are part of one body and one mind. And we remember that as we remember ourselves. Life is holistic, and so are we. No matter what we've done or has happened to us, or what we think, or a passing, fleeting emotion, we are far more than that. Powerful creators and co-creators with the infinite. And as we relax further into this truth of remembrance, everything that has bothered us for this week, or this year, or this life, is healed right now, because we accept that. It is ours for the taking. Spirit gives freely. As it said, whoever thirsts, let him come, or her, come to the water of life and drink freely. We do that now. The healing stream is flowing through us, and we take what we need in our mind, our emotions, our body. In the quietude and the silence of our being, we're set up again. We stand up again. We're recreated and renewed and refreshed by this time. This is nothing less than the remembrance of who we are on a sacred mission divine mission in this thing called life. We affirm that what we need to have be shown to us is what needs to be revealed to us is being revealed. What action we have to take in order to experience our life more abundant, we know what it is right now. And most importantly, in this time, we forgive ourselves and others for where we think we have fallen short or someone else has. There's nothing to hold against ourselves. And all judgment and negativity and upset disappears into its nothing. As the resplendent light once again asserts itself in us. And we're in harmony with it. We're at peace with ourselves and others. At peace with our world. The sustaining infinite upholds us. When we affirm new discoveries about ourselves, new ideas about who we are and what we can be come to us now. And all we have to do is lose the sense of smallness, the sense of not being enough. And remember, as was said about us, we are the light of the world. We are the salt of the earth. Nothing that we truly need is ever lost. We reclaim our identities as children of the Most High, made in the image and likeness of God. Remade, renewed and refreshed. Blessed to be a blessing. And as we emerge from this time, we know we've been blessed. We affirm the promises that we have received. We embrace the new life and walk towards it in quiet calmness, confidence, and strength. And so it is. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
You are in a place, and I said this to our online group that tune in, you're in a place where miracles happen. And sometimes miracles are things that you can always see or touch. They're not necessarily palpable, sometimes they are. But the real miracle is a changed mind, changed heart, a realization of who we are in truth. And as we recognize that, we also can recognize the fact that there are things that we accrue over a period of time, sometimes over months, but more than often over a life's journey. We accrue ideas about who we are, what we're about, and we get pretty set in our ways. And the more set in our ways that we become, the more that we point to others and say they are doing the same thing. There's an old metaphysical axiom: if you spot it, you've got it. So really, life is a mirror that reflects back to us our predominant beliefs and thoughts and ideas about this experience that we're all in. When we think about what we have to lose, sometimes we think about habits that we'd like to give up, or opinions about ourselves that no longer serve us, or something that stays in the back of our minds, and we think, if I could only get over that, is sometimes comes with the words, if only. Or sometimes it's, well, what if I let this go, who will I be? Sometimes we're so defined by our judgments and our opinions and our mistaken certainties, they sometimes are. We're so defined by that we walk a real narrow parameter, not experiencing the wonderful blessings of life. I'll admit, when you lose the limited idea of the little I and you embrace the big I, there's some growth in that, and it can be a little disquieting because you've been used to how it has been for so long. And this new person that is you, or that you're claiming to be you, you've got to get used to that. You have to walk in this newness of life. And sometimes we're impatient for the change. We want things to happen yesterday. I know that I'm that way about a lot of things. I don't sometimes cut myself the break that I need. I'm very impatient with me many times. And I have to step back and remember to move at the speed of life. There is a certain rhythm, the Tao, as it's called, that we are in. And when we try to go beyond that, we experience stress. That's what stress is when you're out of tune, out of sync, out of harmony with the now, with the what is present, with the everlasting new moment. Now, what you really have to lose when you think about this life, there's only one thing that you're going to lose. You're going to lose a body eventually, but you're never going to lose life. Life is an attribute of the divine. It was before you were in this physical incarnation, and it will be after you appear to cease in this physical incarnation. As Joel Goldsmith rightly points out, our lives are a parenthesis in eternity. Or, as somebody also put it, the dash. You know, as I told you, I was a chaplain for a funeral home, and I would go out into the cemetery and read the headstones, and some of them were so funny, and I've told you about them. Some of them were touching, some of them were sometimes almost tragic to read, but there was always, like, say, 1940 dash, 2006, whatever it may be. That dash was supposed to be the life. We had, the beginning was there, the ending was there, but the dash was about that big. And I used to remember thinking, what encompassed these people's dash? There was a story that was not part just of what was 6 feet under my feet. It was people who were alive just like me, who probably met things just like me, who had the same pretty much ideas, joys, ambitions, hopes for their life. What was that about for them? And sometimes they would leave little ideas of that on the headstones by what they wanted their final words to be. And as I may have told you, and I don't remember if I have or not, but one of the things that was written as an epitaph was, whatever you do, don't use my doctrine. I thought that was really funny. And then another one was, I spent $50,000 to be rid of her, and it was worth every penny. And I guess it was a divorce. I hope it was a divorce, not something worse. And then there was the ones that say, and the one that I remember, one that said, I wish I had appreciated things more when they were in front of me. And I remember writing that down. That was a regret. And evidently the person had time to look back on their life and realize that they had lost a sense of really what it was all about. They were really saying, I wish I could have been more in the moment, or I could have appreciated those things that were mine to appreciate. We're in a place where we celebrate one kind of loss, and that is the loss of the small you, the small self with a small s. We embrace the big self with a capital S that is the truth of our being. We're going to walk through life and experience in life, to the proportion that we believe it, the life that we think we deserve. And if you think that you deserve the lesser things, the things that we like to say we celebrate the leaving of, the putting behind us. If you think that's what you deserve, that's what you're going to get. There's this metaphysical law, as above, so below, as within, so without. Our great New Thought teachers tell us that. I've had the pleasure of studying them for more than 35 years. I've had the pleasure of speaking in different places for 30 years, doing seminars, conducting workshops, lecturing. And one thing that I've always seen in front of me was that folks wanted more life. But to do that, there were things that they were going to have to give up or lose, for want of a shorter word, in order to reach out for that new life. I ask you that are tuning in this morning, and you that are here, what do you need to release to keep you, or rather, to give you the life that you want? I know everyone in front of me, many of you I know very well, and I know that none of you purposely hang on to negativity, and that you're here because you celebrate the truth we teach, the truth of your being. But I also know that in life, as we walk through it, just like we walk through on a winter's day, and I've done it, and there's one thing I don't like, walking on carpet, touching metal and getting that pop. I mean, it's just one of my little peeves. And I always try to touch something that isn't metal to diffuse it. But I mean, you can see it can spark sometimes. And when you walk through life and you kind of shuffle along, you're going to pick up this energy that needs to go somewhere inside you. And you need to learn how to release it when it's negative, when it's self-defeating, when it is judgmental, when it makes you hurt, so that you can release that in meditation and not have to face a situation in the outer to learn a lesson that you could have learned if you had stepped back in meditation or contemplation or even visualization and realized, hey, this is something I'm carrying and this is a truth. Life is nothing but not a persistent teacher. It's going to present to you the things that you need to learn the most in one way or another. Take a look at the people that get into a certain relationship that can be considered abusive and negative. And very quickly thereafter, without a change in consciousness, they're right back in another one, just the same way. Because the lesson repeats itself until we lose the idea about ourselves that we deserve such a thing. But guilt demands punishment. And if we don't punish ourselves necessarily, we're going to find somebody who agrees with that and will punish us in another way. We, in great measure, are, and we are what we believe we are, what we deserve. Let me say that, a little awkward to say that. We experience in large measure what we think we deserve. You are deserving of everything wonderful. There was a teacher who came to tell you that 2,000 years ago. There was a Buddha who awakened and said the truth about who he was. I don't think, for example, that the Buddha received enlightenment and said, I'm now going to go manifest a Mercedes and a brand new house. I think it was a realization that he was everything. He was part of the whole. This is what Christ Jesus said as well. There's nothing wrong with wanting to manifest. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have nice things and things like this. But let's remember what we're really going for is the feeling that is attendant to getting that thing. And so if we're in the flow, if we're in tune with the infinite, then we know certain things about ourselves and we're able to realize why we may want this. What does it mean to us? We're operating from a place of internal knowledge rather than just reactive. And we all know folks who react. It's like knee-jerk. They have an opinion. It's worked for them in the past. They never give it up. It works for them right now. But it really doesn't. It just keeps a repetitive part of life coming back to them over and over again. And even though it may be negative, it also feels comfortable because they at least know what to expect. Sometimes we're just more comfortable, even when it's not the life we really want, because, well, at least I know what's going to happen when I think this way. To step up, to break out of the cocoon, to walk into new life takes courage. It takes discipline. It takes strength. It's going to call for you to lose, ultimately, that idea you have about yourself that you are not capable, worthy, that you're not deserving of new life. And if it's anything that we teach here, anything that I would stake everything on, it's the newness of life that we celebrate. And it doesn't matter your chronological age. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you've done. You're here now. And the past is all a thought in your mind. And the thought can be changed. If you think that I'm doing absurdum reduction, as it's called in the Latin, which was reducing things to the absurd point, which is, so obvious, I want to tell you I am, because I believe in taking these lofty concepts and bringing them down and making them work. What good is a lecture on metaphysics? What good is $3 words thrown out here if somebody doesn't get them and walk into the newness of life and realize that they are more than they've experienced up until this moment? So when I ask you what you've got to lose this morning, there may be things you desire to lose, habits, or even relationships, or things that you know don't serve you. But more than that, I think you would realize, or I hope you would realize, that the greatest loss that you can experience is the loss of the idea that you are anything less than a perfect child of a loving God set forth to do a mighty work while you're here in this form. And that your dash, that the time that, is between those two august dates, that time is yours to make what you wish of yourself. And when you do that with a forgiving attitude towards yourself and others, when you do that with an idea towards growth and realizing that there's none too old, you're never too old to start again. You're never too old to get another concept or idea about yourself. How do I know this? I knew an 83-year-old woman who embraced our principles after a lifetime of being in what we call a fundamentalist church. And the reason that she did this, and I was very privileged to witness it, the reason she said is, I don't think I've ever had a happy day in my life. And this little daily word that you gave me told me about a God that doesn't act like the one that I believed in for 60 plus years. 83 years old. She didn't mind I say the name. Ada Whitson. And I know she's gone on to her greater glory right now. That's been some time ago, but she was so thankful to receive material that helped her change her mind about who she was at 83. I gave her a couple of our publications. This was before I was a minister. And I enjoyed visiting with her. She made wonderful tea. And I enjoyed visiting with her and going over these principles, these ideas. 83 years old, reaching out for new life. So I don't think it matters the age, and I don't think that it matters even the circumstance. It matters your willingness to lose a limited idea, to lose a hurt, to lose something that you may have set your entire life correct. And you can step back and say those words that our ego hate to hear and don't want to utter. I was wrong. I mean, I'm a husband. I'm used to being wrong. But when we say I was wrong in the way that I'm talking about, we are able to step back and say, not that there's something inferior with me being wrong. It was I just happened to walk a path that I didn't know that there was one that was better. And I can choose once again. There's no time set. There's no time stamp in eternity. We have dates and dashes and dates down here. This is the way we keep score. This is the way we make sense of life on this plane. But in the pure, beautiful places of spirit, everything is love and everything is celebrated and everything is wonderful. And that's what Christ Jesus came to tell us through his awakening. That's what the Buddha wants to tell us in the awakening. That's what every enlightened master said. All you have to do is be willing to lose the limited idea of who you are. And if you lose that, I think you'll find, and that's the top of the, when I'm talking about the top of the heap, if you lose that, you're going to find that losing these other ancillary things, these other things that you'd like to give up, habits, whatever they may become, it becomes easier to do because you have stepped into a new truth and a new idea about who and what you are. I celebrate you doing that this morning. There are those that tune in here that have emailed me or messaged me and told me that they really appreciate hearing about new life. That sometimes the spiritual organizations they've been in are very concerned with the past and doctrine and dogma and all these things that give an identity to that group. Let me tell you, the greatest identity you have this morning is a child of a loving God that carries the truth within them. As Dr. Katie in her wonderful book, Lessons in Truth, said, you have the presence within you and that you are the answer you have been seeking. I'm paraphrasing language from 1898, but I think you understand what I mean. It all comes back to you. It all comes back to your choice. It all comes back to your decision. And ultimately, it's all up to you. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're less than who you are. And if they do that, walk in another direction because they're telling you a lot about themselves as well. I uphold your growth. I see you manifesting in ways that you want. I see perfect, radiant health in you of all types, mental, emotional, financial. Whatever it may be, I am with you in that spirit right now, not only upholding you, but loving you through that. And you're in a place where all you have to do is walk up to anyone and say, I need a little help with this, or you have an opinion about that. You're in a place where people love to do that. You're in a judgment-free zone. You're in a place where we celebrate ultimately love. Lose that sense of that you're anything less than you truly are. And if you need reminding of that, remember, you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. And if you seek first the kingdom inside you, all the other things that you could want will be added to you. because you've given yourself the understanding and the love you deserve and is your birthright. God bless each one of you. I uphold the very best for you.
Story.
Was lost in that thought. It's always something I can give up. I'm not saying that. All right. Right now we get the great privilege to give as we've received, and we've all received. We all know what it's like to have serendipity come into our lives. Serendipity is another word for blessings. And blessings abound when we give from our heart and we give with a grateful attitude. So I invite you right now to give the best gift of which you're able, knowing that you're part of making these ministries that we do here, our outreach, possible. I thank you for your gift, and you're on, of course, you're watching online. There is a PayPal button at our website or on this page. And if you prefer to send in a gift, and not many people use checks, but I know, heard there's few still coming, still do that. You can send your gift to Unity of Bernie, P.O. Box 1973, Bernie, Texas 78006. Again, that's P.O. Box 1973, Bernie, Texas 78006. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's always a pleasure to come to you, and if you're able, we ask you to join us in person. It's an experience to be here. And so now we ask you to give your best, and we affirm that you receive the best.
Freely I have received, freely I give. My love through me blesses all that I am, all that I give and receive. All that freely I have received, freely I give. My love through me blesses all that I am, all that I give and receive.
And now we say our prayer of blessing and increase. Divine love
Through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I send it forth with my blessings and my love.
So it is.
Love can
Build a bridge between your heart and mine.
us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Well done, you. Well done, everyone. I want to say thanks for joining us today. Here. Like the way not only yourselves, but those you love and those love you. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for being yourself. Thank you for being with God. Thank you for acknowledging that you have something that binds you, something within to God create Christ Himself. Christ saw it. Christ looked for it. Went after what He wanted. You encourage you. Also, looking for that. Good gift. You certainly get another way to get the same job. And it's a way that will probably lead you where you want to go, or lead you to finding out a way to do that. Come again next week. Join us online. Join us in person. You are welcome. I want to remind you that if you come back next week, you can sit and have a little bit of repast, break bread with us, potluck after service next week. If it's your first time, no, you don't need to bring anything necessarily. There's always plenty of food, and our visitors are honored by going to the head of the line. We just appreciate that. So until next week, have a wonderful, gratifying week at the time. And remember to share. Remember to share something about somebody. Until then, be fulfilled.
Thanks for your music.
They asked me.
Looks like a painting.
Yeah, it looks like a painting. Looks like it does.
He's my neighbor. He lives right behind me. He's lived right behind me for 20-something years. Yeah. Yeah.